We've made it this far, and we're still going. Episode 12 of Square Circle Breakdown is here.
Cause the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town.
Unfortunately, we will not be joined by Kristen this week, for she is got the flu.
No. What truly happened, ladies and gentlemen of our wonderful fan base, Kristen was deleted!
That's right, because she needs to be woken now!
For we will take Kristen in the lake of obsolescence and reborn her. Yes. For the 7 deities will enter her body and show her the way of the woken brilliance.
Yes. Anyways, that is going to piss her off so much. Not as much as not as much as me saying that the only way that we can fix her problem is if Daddy Trump comes and gets rid of whoever it was that gave her the flu and builds a wall.
Yes.
Anyways,
closest one to that wall that our Daddy Trump is building. So
yes, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, last week I debuted a new concept, and we're going to continue it this week. A little pop quiz. It's unfortunate because Kristen's not here, but then again, her knowledge is limited, unlike the woken brilliance in this room.
yes.
In case you're watching this, Kristen, I'm sorry, but it's true. So, with that said, this is for the audience at home, so if you would like to participate, please go right ahead. No cheating allowed. But this question is going to be for Guapo himself. Let's see if we could test his wrestling knowledge and he could actually succeed this week, which I highly doubt.
You never know.
You never know. Okay. I actually asked this question on a group page, so let's see if you can get this right. Okay? There is only one there's one accomplishment that both Brock Lesnar and Yokozuna have that nobody else does. What is this accomplishment?
Both of them have held. Wait, no. Huh. Yokozuna and Brock Lesnar. It's not both of them have held the IWGP Championship and WWE Championship, right?
No.
Okay.
It's WWE related. Keep that in mind.
It's WWE related. Okay. Fuck Sable?
I don't remember Yokozuna crushing Sable with his big ass. I don't recall hearing that, but maybe there is wrestling folklore that will disprove that.
What has Yokozuna and Brock Lesnar have done? Oh, shit. Well, it's not beat Undertaker at WrestleMania.
No. One of them has, the other one didn't. One of them beat him at Royal Rumble, but not.
This is true. Huh. That's a good one. What has Brock Lesnar and Yokozuna shared, but no one else has? You know what? You stumped me. I don't know.
Wow. Stumped you all again. Okay. Get ready for this. They are the only wrestlers in WWE history to win their debut Royal Rumble and go on to their debut WrestleMania and win the WWE title in the main event.
Ah.
Only ones that actually won their Royal Rumble debut. Yokozuna won the Royal Rumble in 1993. And then went on to WrestleMania 9 to defeat Bret Hart for the WWF title. And Brock Lesnar went on to make his Royal Rumble debut in 2003. And went on to WrestleMania 19. And while he beat Kurt Angle in the main event for the WWE title, while it wasn't his first world title, it was his first main event, his first WrestleMania, and his first title win at WrestleMania.
Wait. So, WrestleMania 9. Is that the one that Yokozuna won the title of Bret Hart and then immediately lost it to Hulk Hogan?
To Hulk Hogan, yes.
Thought so, yeah.
Yes, the greatest WrestleMania of all time, right? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't know about all that, but...
Come on. You didn't think the technical specimen of Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, stole the hearts of millions?
I tend to forget about that one.
Daddy Trump would never forget something like that. I'm just saying.
You know what Daddy Trump didn't forget about? WWF Capital Carnage.
Oh, my God.
Even though this pay-per-view is brought to you by Skybox, as they want to remind you multiple times. And it was live? Broadcasted from the UK?
Let's get some of the things out of the way. This was a UK only show. I believe, I could be wrong.
London, England, yes.
Only people who lived in the UK were able to watch this pay-per-view live.
Yes.
It was similar to that of One Night Only. And One Night Only was also a British pay-per-view held in, obviously, the UK. And I believe that show was headlined by Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog for the European title. Which, given the circumstances surrounding the behind-the-scenes about that show, yeah, it's more memorable behind the scenes than it is actual wrestling. But, so, there were pay-per-views later on called Rebellion and Insurrection that they would hold that became annual for a couple years. But Capital Carnage was the first of its kind.
And last of its kind.
And definitely the last of its kind. This show, let's just get this out of the way. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was a house show for the UK.
It honestly felt like a Raw to me, like a Raw and or SmackDown watching it, because of the way that they did it throughout the entire show. There was promos being cut by the men in the Fatal 4-Way match for the end of the night. So I'm just like, why is there? It felt like I was watching a Raw, really.
There were silly things that happened on this show, but it wasn't enough for me to despise it, mainly because it was what it was. It was just a show for the UK fans, mainly because, again, it's hard for WWE nowadays to hold pay-per-views in the UK. They only did it, one time, and that was SummerSlam 92. I don't recall them ever doing it again.
The last pay-per-view, or I'd say pay-per-view, NXT TakeOver was in London.
Well, I'm talking at this point in time.
Well, yes, of course, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, NXT TakeOver, and that's a network exclusive thing, so. But regardless, it was a show just to basically appease the English fans who don't have the luxury of going over to the States at this time, because you got to remember this, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's new to this. Back in 1998, there were hardcore fans, but it's nowhere near as it is today, where basically people are booking from fucking Australia to go all the way to, in this case, New Orleans, Louisiana, just to go watch WrestleMania. So this was their invitation to what it would be like to be at a live show.
Yes.
And again, watching it wasn't really anything.
The only critique I have for the crowd is, thank God, air horns and whistles were banned.
Yeah, if you watch the show, there was this one air horn chant that they kept doing that they did at SummerSlam 92. Like, if you watch Bret Hart versus British Bulldog, there was this one chant they were doing with the horn, the I don't know what it is. To any of the UK fans who actually give a shit about this show, please tell me what that chant is, because I don't know what it is. I remember seeing it at SummerSlam 92. I'm assuming it has something to do with soccer or
your
English.
It's a soccer thing.
It must. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong. But the one thing that was annoying was that they did this the whole night.
Yeah.
It was virtually like almost every match you had to have this chant all throughout the night.
The crowd itself was good, except for the all the air horns and the whistles and all that stuff going on. I was just like, Oh my god, I'm so happy all this crap was banned. That WWE doesn't have that. Also, at one point, okay, if you watch this, you notice there's some stuff edited in this, as we will discuss later. However, there was at one point I was watching it, and it was panning through the audience, and a person had a sign that said "Rape me." I'm like, okay, someone missed that one.
Well, yeah, this was during a time where Vince allowed the fans to say what they wanted to say as more of a marketing ploy to compete with WCW. And again, back in the day, to any of the young kids that actually watch this show, you shouldn't be, because we curse and say a lot of very vulgar things. But
Wait, we fucking curse?
we curse, we say some sexual innuendos, we talk about daddy, all that. They're too young to understand. But it was so crazy back then that not only air horns were allowed, you could fucking take laser pens and point them at the wrestlers. I remember seeing Raws where laser pens were being pointed at, but
Yeah.
ever since things like 9/11 and the DC snipers and all that, that's done. In fact, I'll never forget one time I went to a Raw, not to delve too off topic, but I went to a Raw in 1998. This was actually in July, so it would have been about 5-6 months before this show. And my mom wrote a sign that said, "Vince, you bastard." Now, it's pretty tame compared to what was shown, but you gotta remember, at that time, my mom had only taken me to shows in 1996 when WWE was still family-oriented.
Middle. Yeah.
There was still kind of that. And I remember my mom came in with me. This is 98, so yeah, this was the height of the Austin era. And a security guard just basically said, your sign just can't have cursing. And my mom basically lied and said, oh, there's no swearing on it. And they're like, oh, okay, you can go through.
Who's gonna listen? Who's gonna question a nice sweet lady?
Yeah, a nice sweet blonde lady who has no qualms whatsoever in cussing you the fuck out if you ever piss her off.
And with the child with her.
Well, yeah, I was about, let's see, this was 98, so I was about 9. So yeah, this was during the days you could do, oh my god, you could do anything at these shows.
Quick side note, can we talk about the Austin middle finger foam fingers?
Sure.
That could not fly now.
Oh, no, not in today's
Which
society.
is amazing, because the fact that was a thing that WWE actually put out there to purchase.
I don't think the middle finger was as bad as, let's say,
of course not.
Carlito's "Do You Spit or Swallow" shirt that I actually wore in school and got kicked out.
That's great.
I actually got kicked out because I wore a sexual innuendo shirt, so...
I mean, it's a wrestling shirt.
Right, but there were suggestive things, but
well, yes.
Even if you... never mind that. I mean, some of the shit that Shawn Michaels did, like some of the... you look at it, probably was tame, but now, like him... like doing the DX crotch chop.
Yeah, the DX crotch chops telling people to suck it. Obviously, it's an innuendo to suck his dick.
Even just the Heartbreak Kid stuff, the way he sexually went into the ring, people would say that he's he's what is it? Gay shaming, I guess you can say, because people used to always insinuate he was gay or whatever. It's stuff like that that you can't
he did do
Playgirl.
Girl.
Yeah, Playgirl, you can't do that now. It's a different society. It's a lot more sensitive. So
yeah.
I mean, they've done stuff that's been insensitive, like Paige dissing Charlotte's dead brother, but nothing to the extreme of the Attitude Era, where it was just like one raunchy angle after another. And
I mean, we did get the great line from the Usos to Xavier Woods.
Oh, yeah.
We can't forget that.
Yeah,
that was
let's don't go all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods. That's definitely a great line. But I don't want to delve too off the topic, because we're just talking about the Attitude Era. This Capital Carnage show. We started it off with Gangrel versus Al Snow. And the one thing that really...
What does everybody want?
Exactly, that's another thing. You would not be able to get away with saying that. But, see, that's not even what intrigued me. Alright, again, to all the young fans who were not watching back in the 90s, there was a character named Gangrel. Now, Gangrel was not a great mic talker. He was not a great wrestler. Had an okay appearance. He was virtually a vampire, but what sold Gangrel, what made Gangrel cool, was his entrance. He was basically, I know I'm comparing apples and oranges here, but he was basically WWF's version of Sandman. Why would you go to ECW to watch Sandman? Because you want to see Sandman come through the audience with Enter Sandman playing in the arena or the little bingo hall, whatever you want to call it. Him drinking beer and going crazy with the kendo stick and all that. Sandman's entrance is what sold his gimmick. Same thing with Gangrel. Gangrel had an entrance where at the stage there would be like a ring of fire, and he would come up from underneath the ring of fire, that is, and he would just laugh and hold this cauldron of blood and then come in onto the side of the steps and spit out the blood. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, well, here we are, 1998, the UK fans finally get to see his entrance live, and he doesn't do the ring, fire, anything. I would be pretty fucking pissed. I understand the stage was a little bit, like, not built for this type of entrance, but it's like, that's the selling point of his gimmick, is going through the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even get to do that. He didn't even have, like, candles or anything, which I'll get to later on in the show. He just had
someone
smoke.
else gets them.
Yeah, he's got smoke, and he comes out the cauldron. I mean, he does the cauldron thing and spits out the blood, but again, you've already nicked 75% of his gimmick right then and there. So, we had this match.
There was a couple botches in this match.
Yes, such as Al Snow trying to leap over him and his knee whacked him in the head. There was a point where Al Snow was supposed to hit a moon... Well, he was supposed to do the moonsault and miss, but he accidentally hit Gangrel partially and still sold it like he missed it completely.
Yep.
But the one that really made me laugh my ass off, and this was probably the highlight of the show, because... You know me, I love bad shows because I love to make fun of them because Vince broke me to the point where I just can't.
The next match you probably love then.
Well, I'll get to that, but it's the ending of this match.
Okay.
So there's a part where Edge is about to interfere.
Edge and Christian, because both of them were out there.
That's right, yeah, both of them were out there.
Because at this point they were the Brood.
Christian was distracting the ref, and there's a point where Al Snow has the head, and he proceeds to whack Gangrel in the head, no pun intended, with head. But Edge is watching this whole thing, watching the leader of this group just get smashed in the head with a head. Now, to be fair, Edge does eventually get on top of the turnbuckle and drop kicks Al Snow, and Gangrel goes for the pin. But it was like, why would you want your leader to get smashed in the head with a head? Like, what would have happened if you would have dropkicked him and Gangrel was still laying on the ground from getting hit in the head, even though Gangrel completely no-sold it?
Right.
Which either means Al Snow sucks at hitting him in the head,
right,
or this weapon is just useless.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the latter.
I mean, everything about this match was a clusterfuck and a half, so...
But yeah, there one spot that I did like, I even mentioned it to Suave. Gangrel did a double arm suplex to Al Snow. I looked at Suave like, you don't see that too often anymore. There was some decent spots inside of the match that somewhat made up for the botchiness, but the botchiness definitely overcame a lot.
Yeah, it was a mess of a match. I just can't. And again, it being a house show, and if I was a fan of the UK, and I'm going to get to see Gangrel, and he doesn't even get a good portion of the entrance that makes him popular, then it's like, what's the point?
Right.
So, we had a Mankind promo. Nothing really to say. It's just hyping up the Fatal 4-Way. Before I continue on, originally the title match was supposed to be The Rock versus Triple H. But for whatever reason, they switched it, and we will get to that later on what they were switched to, which is just so... yeah. So next we had the Legion of Doom 2000, consisting of Animal and he's got a puke! Or Draws, whatever you want to call him. I know him as Puke. Versus the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. Now, when you hear Legion of Doom, you automatically think Hawk and Animal. They were doing some sort of storyline where they were actually bringing up Hawk's real-life alcoholism and drug abuse, and it was really weird because the whole premise, I guess what they were trying to do is that he's really letting the battle of alcohol beat him, and Droz is purposefully manipulating it so that he can replace Hawk. So he's kind of like a heel, and the fans are seeing right through his shtick. And this was later on. In the beginning, I think he was originally just supposed to be Puke, the third Legion of Doom member, when we all know the Legion of Doom is only, well, it is 3 people, but it's always Hawk, Animal, and if he was ever around, Paul Ellering. Or what was that puppet? Rocco? Remember the puppet from somewhere? I think it was SummerSlam 92.
Let's see. Members of the Road Warriors. Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, Paul Ellering, Crush? Who the fuck is Crush? Brian Adams.
As in, whatchamacallit, Demolition?
Now I'm looking at, I'm looking at Wikipedia's Road Warriors, former members, Crush, Brian Adams.
I found it, okay. At SummerSlam 92, there was a puppet named Rocco.
Rocco? Yeah,
it was and this was his only appearance. He was going to be like a dummy. I don't know what the fucking purpose of it was. I think it was just to sell merchandise, and it didn't work. Surprisingly. Wow.
It didn't work? What? No.
Was this SummerSlam 92 or was this SummerSlam 91? I could be wrong. See, my wrestling knowledge isn't perfect, ladies and gentlemen, but yes, I happen to remember fucking Rocco. But, we have this match. It got its purpose across. The fans chanted, "We want Hawk." So, good for them. But the ending, I don't know where they were going with it.
I don't know, because I felt like because they had Animal attack Droz, however, they made up, sorta? I don't know.
It was like, okay.
It was very anticlimactic how they did it.
He pushed Animal to the outside and then got rolled up. So basically they lost due to Puke's stupidity. Even
though Animal or Puke or Droz was not the legal man.
Of course. It's this whole thing. I don't know where they were going with this storyline. The only thing I remember was that eventually, I think LOD went away and didn't come back until like maybe for a one-night fling in 2003, shortly before Hawk passed away. And Droz would team up with Albert to do like a piercing gimmick, and eventually Droz unfortunately got paralyzed in a match with D'Lo Brown on SmackDown. So none of this went anywhere, and you knew it didn't go anywhere. It's one of those things that it's just like you look back on it and you just ask yourself, what the fuck was the purpose?
Mm-hmm.
There's no purpose to this whatsoever. We had an Undertaker promo. It was an Undertaker promo. But I do have to say something.
It was a great promo.
I don't have a problem with the promo. Undertaker's a great promo. He's great at being the Undertaker. Nobody could have played the dead man other than Mark Calloway. In fact, originally it was supposed to be Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey would have not done this role justice like Mark Calloway did. Or at least had the longevity that Mark Calloway has done. Truly one of the best, if not the best, in the business.
Yep.
What I do have a problem with is that he's now all of a sudden made up with Paul Bearer after all the shit that Paul Bearer had done throughout not just the year of 1998, but the year of 1997, and even in 1996. They automatically made up. Keep in mind, it wasn't like they separated for a bit and then just happened to cross paths and then became friends again. They were feuding earlier in the year. And now they're buddies.
They, yeah. I guess I would have to been watching to see what the hell was going on in that time.
That point was when it was Undertaker and Kane, because Undertaker, if I could get it correctly, Undertaker was responsible for his parents' death and the close to death of Kane. And Paul Bearer took care of Kane while he was burnt and all this crazy nonsense. It was such a fucking it was a good story because the actors involved, or I shouldn't say actors, they're not actors, the wrestlers involved did a fantastic job. Paul Bearer, wonderful talent. Undertaker, enough said. Kane, very good at his role. So they did a good enough job of what they had, but it was just after they got past Unforgiven, I would say, of 98, then the storyline just took like a weird fucking turn. And just couldn't make its way back on the rails. So, yeah, that was a Taker promo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then we had Val Venus going one-on-one against Goldust. And Val Venus had a very funny line.
Val Venus, the big Valvoski.
He compared himself to the London Tower. They both go up and down, and house the crown jewels. This was another thing. Here's another
things
gimmick.
Things you can never do or say on WWE now.
No, you could not have Val Venus on WWE. Now that is, I mean, the sexual innuendos. That was his gimmick. He came out and made a sexual innuendo, and it was funny. Like I said, his most famous one, that he's like a Rubik's Cube. The more you play with him, the harder he gets. It's great. But that was his gimmick. And Goldust, well, Goldust is a weird one. But there was a Goldust sucks Venus sign in this match. And the story...
I mean, maybe?
The story here was that Terry was supposedly trying to get back with Goldust? Marlena? Whatever?
Terry, yeah, no, it was Terry Runnels. I think.
It was Terry Runnels trying to be Marlena, trying to get back with Goldie. I want to say this was... Keep in mind, I'm going off of a day or two after watching this show. And I believe that the whole story was that Terry was pregnant, and she was trying to get back with Goldie. Oh! Here's what it was.
Yeah, no, Terry was pregnant, saying that it was Val's, but no, it wasn't Val's because Val had a vasectomy.
And he broke up with her because of it.
Yes.
So, she tried to get back with Goldie, to no such luck. And I think eventually later she would end up with Jacqueline and meet and create PMS. And the whole purpose of Meat was that Meat was supposed to be her sex slave that she got to sleep with whenever she wanted. At this time, the way Terry looked, I would have loved to have been Meat. Terry was a very fine-looking woman. Just saying. I don't need the awkward silence. I need some backup here.
I'm sorry, sir. Yes, she was a very awkward-looking woman. I apologize. I spaced out. I was looking at something.
You were looking at naked pictures of Terry, weren't you?
I was not, sir.
Or you were trying to send the ingredients of Daddy Trump's medicine to Tristan right now.
Which is freedom.
Freedom!
A wall.
Tax cuts.
Tax cuts, that's right. And also...
Less Latinos.
You're fired.
Yes. There's not much to say about Val Venus and Goldust because it was still... Alright, hold up.
It was okay.
It was okay,
I mean...
but now we're 3 matches in, and so far all 3 matches have had some sort of fuck finish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some sort of distraction or interference or something like that. Again, house show, maybe I shouldn't complain, but still. That's like, this is your escape?
I guess only for the pure fact that it's not even a real show to them. So keep everybody strong.
Maybe.
I don't
But
know.
sometimes we like to see winners and losers, but now,
I think everybody won in not this next match, but the next one after.
well, here we are with the next match. Tiger Ali Singh versus Edge. Okay, time to go back again in memory lane.
It's gonna be a time warp again.
Tiger Ali Singh, ladies and gentlemen, the son of the famous Tiger Jeet Singh. Now, who was Tiger Ali Singh? Because he didn't really last that long, and it was due to a back injury. I believe it was a back injury that he had suffered in 1999. Well, this gimmick of Tiger Ali Singh, he was supposed to be a rich Indian, I guess you could say. I don't know if he was supposed to be Arabic or Indian or whatever.
I want to say he was supposed to be Arabic, maybe.
Okay, so he was basically the Indian version of Ted DiBiase. He was supposed to be rich, arrogant, and an heir to the fortune. He had a manservant named Babu, right? He had a fucking lackey with him, so it was sort of similar to what they would do with Alberto Del Rio later on with Ricardo Rodriguez, but I digress. But the point of his gimmick, even though he didn't display it here, was that every week he would announce that he had a stunt that he wanted an audience member to pull, and the audience member would receive $500 for the stunt that they would do. There was one week where he challenged somebody to eat an earthworm. He actually had one person do an impression of Jim Ross, and the person not only did a great impression of Jim Ross, he did the face too. Because as you know, Jim Ross had suffered Bell's palsy, so he did the half face.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tiger Ali Singh, I guess, convinced this fan to do it, which caused, I can't remember if it was Jim Ross to attack him, or if it was Jim Ross's manager, Steve Williams, to attack him. But regardless, that was Tiger Ali Singh's gimmick. He would just challenge fans to do some stupid, wacky stunt. He didn't do it here.
He's not. He's in the UK. Why would he waste his time with these people?
I don't even remember what the finish was. All I just put was another fuck finish. I know Tiger Ali Singh won this.
I want to. Tiger. He won by rolling up Edge and putting his feet on the second rope.
So now that's 4 matches thus far in a row that have had fuck finishes.
Yes. Fuck finish.
This is what the people in the UK spent money on. They spent money on the first 4 matches being fuck finishes.
Pretty much, yeah. Because everybody got to look strong.
But nobody did look strong. Everyone looked stupid. Edge looked like an idiot. Gangrel looked like an idiot. Al Snow looked like an idiot in the first match.
Then there's the headbangers, which they just look stupid regardless.
Well, that was their gimmick, so I'm not going to hold that against them.
Quick side note: headbangers. They're called the headbangers, correct? Their names are Mosh, and Thrasher.
Correct.
To be a headbanger, doth one need hair to headbang?
In their case, it was a skirt.
The skirt made up for both of them having shaved heads.
Well, if you want to get technical, Mosh later on got hair when he played Beaver Cleavage and what was the other one? Was it Mosh or I thought he had another name.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna look it up. What other names did Mosh go by?
Mosh, yes, Beaver Cleavage.
Beaver Cleavage was supposed to be a parody of Leave It to Beaver, where him and his manager was supposed to be like his mother, and they would make like such weird adult humor jokes where he didn't have enough. Like there was one promo I remember where he's like complaining that he doesn't have enough milk in his cereal, and they ran out of milk, so the mother decides to put breast milk in replacement. Chaz was his other name. Chaz, ladies and gentlemen. This guy was going to try and make a singles career with the name Chaz. And he's wearing boxer shorts in this photo that I see of him.
Yep. Yeah, he is.
Nothing against this guy. He was very good as a headbanger.
Apparently both of them are still working.
In the independents, I believe.
In indies, yes. They had a one-off in WWE last year, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, and they didn't even have the theme song. They came up with some generic theme song for these two. And it's like, no, I remember that their theme song was legendary back in the day.
What was their theme song?
That's my best impression of the song, but
thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's the Headbangers, but Chaz, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Chaz.
Chaz was going to be this big thing because Beaver Cleavage was such a flop that they just had to get rid of it and call him Chaz. Let me see if I can pull... I know we're just delving off topic here, but let me see if I can pull up Beaver Cleavage's theme.
It's okay. Daddy would be okay with this.
Yes, Daddy would enjoy this, but... Oh, I found somebody that made a custom Titantron.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. He's wearing that little spinny hat.
I'm so happy I don't remember this.
When did you start watching?
I mean, I watched on and off when I was younger, and, like, I want to say around this time, like 97, 98. And then I really got more into it in, like, the very early 2001.
Yes, so this would have been post-Beaver Cleavage.
Yes, like, I'll put it to you this way. The first pay-per-view I ever got to watch at home that my parents allowed to buy was Armageddon 2000.
Wow.
That was the first pay-per-view I ever got to watch live.
Lucky you. Mine was WrestleMania 12. And
nice.
I started watching in 95 and was hooked ever since. So there was no, I was sort of into it. No, I've always been hooked since the minute I watched. But yes, I have to relive Beaver Cleavage, ladies and gentlemen, and so do you if any of you watching remember that gimmick. But
you know who won't know that gimmick?
Kristen.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Maybe she's better off. But back to this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But she doesn't get to relive the nostalgia like we do.
That's true. Her nostalgia is Bobby Lashley at Great American Bash.
Oh, God. I remember seeing Bobby... Oh, what was it? It was a house show. It was a SmackDown ECW house show. And Bobby Lashley went up against... Oh, fuck, who was... Oh... Finley.
Finley.
No. It wasn't No, it wasn't Finley.
Kennedy.
It was Kennedy. It was Kennedy. Because that same show, it was Finley versus Benoit.
Who?
He who should not be named.
Oh, Stevie Richards, you mean?
Sure.
Okay.
And the main event was Batista, because he was World Heavyweight Champion at the time, and oh shit, who the fuck was he feuding against then?
Wait, who would Batista at that time? 2006, it would have been Booker T.
Maybe. I think it was Booker T that he was against at the house show.
This is early 06. It probably would have been... Holy shit, who was... Khali? No, that was later.
No, it wasn't Khali.
That was later. I don't remember who Batista was.
It might have been Booker T.
Yeah, because Batista got hurt and had to take some time off. He wasn't even at WrestleMania 22, I don't think, so...
Yes, this is before he got hurt. I even got to see Paul London and Stewart wrestle a match against somebody. I'm sorry, the Brian Kendrick.
Yes, that guy.
Dorian.
We're off the rails right now. We're supposed to be reviewing Capital Carnage.
Capital Carnage, yes. The next match was.
Whoa. You're speeding up. There was a Vince McMahon promo.
Vince McMahon, yeah, sorry.
This dragged on for way too fucking long, and the whole premise is it's Vince, Shane, Joe Briscoe, Pat Patterson, and they're just trying to get heat from the England crowd by dissing the UK and dissing a guy who I didn't even know until the show named Vinnie Jones, who was
Vinnie Jones.
A soccer player or football player, whatever you want to call him.
I remember him from, what was that movie? Euro Trip, I think?
He was in Euro Trip?
I want to say he was in Euro Trip, or maybe? I don't remember.
I'm going to look it up now.
Shit, I don't remember what movie it is. He was in some fucking... Oh, fuck, Vinnie Jones.
I'm looking him up, too, don't worry. He looks like Cotton Weary in the Scream movies in this photo. He does! He looks like Cotton Weary.
I had to look it up. I had to look it up the other day.
He was in The Longest Yard.
Wait, he was in Arrow? Who the fuck? Oh
no, Mean Machine, excuse me.
Brick.
You are right, he was in Euro Trip.
Was it Wait, he was?
He was the leader of the Manchester United football hooligan firm in Euro Trip.
Yes! That's the movie I remember him from.
Makes sense, because he's a soccer player, so... Football player to all you non-Americans. Yeah, and he just tried to get heat, and then Vinnie Jones came out later, cut a very generic promo, like, I'll knock his ass out, whatever the fuck. It was just a celebrity endorsement type of thing.
It was a very weird, like, spot.
Yeah.
Can we talk about young Michael Cole, too, for a quick second?
With the one with the mustache?
Oh, God, young Michael Cole.
Yeah. What about
before he's taking bumps from Braun Strowman?
Yeah, and then showing up to do the tag challenge. What is there to say about Michael Cole?
He's Michael Cole. The man, he doesn't really age, because if you look at him now and then, it's like barely aged.
Well, again, it's the mustache that's
so
different.
He did shave.
And yeah, the thing about him is that he is not the long lost father of Adam.
No, that was Daddy.
Daddy, that's right. What do I have in my notes? Okay, so the next match here is Mark Marrow and Jacqueline versus. I don't get why they booked this match, but Christian and Sable.
Brock Lesnar's wife?
Well, at the time, she was Mark Marrow's wife.
True. Oh, wait, yeah, huh?
And why is she teaming with Christian?
I don't know.
Even for a house show, or a UK strictly, why would you book at this time? Keep in mind, Christian was not the Christian you know him, with the peeps and Captain Charisma. This was dark, gothic, gangrel Christian. Very serious and grim. He's teaming with Sable? Like, Mark Marrow and Jacqueline makes sense, because they were having tension. This was actually, I believe, Mark Marrow's last WWF show to date.
Yes. Because
he lost a Loser Leaves WWE match to Dwayne Gill, who you know better as Gilbert. And they show a clip of the promo, and he actually used the term jobber. He called Dwayne Gill a jobber. That's usually pretty forbidden to use insider terms in promos.
I just don't know. Let's see. Kill won the match to help with the Job Squad? What the fuck was the Job Squad?
JOB Squad. Oh yeah, that was
Al Snow, Blue Meanie, Bob Holly, Gilbert.
It was a joke.
Scorpio?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't remember. It was so long
Too
ago.
Cold Scorpio. Oh god.
I'm getting them mixed up with this other group called the Union, which was, I believe, Mick Foley, Big Show, Ken Shamrock, and somebody else. There was 4 people. Now I am determined to find out that 4th member.
Of which one?
The Union.
The Union?
The most weird group I have ever seen. It's so bad they don't even have a Wikipedia page. Oh, Ken Shamrock, Big Show, Mankind, and Test. And they had, they had 2x4s. They were holding 2x4s similar to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And they debuted in May 3rd, 1999, and disbanded June 7th of 1999. Aha. Now, where were we with this Mark Merrill, Jacqueline, Christian Sable mess?
We were talking about Mark Merrill calling somebody a jobber.
Yes, he called somebody a jobber, which is, isn't that not, forbidden?
At this point, maybe. Then again, I don't know. Then again, he probably was on his way out the door anyway. He really didn't give a fuck anymore, so he said, fuck it.
Well, Christian had candles
to enter with his Brood music because, yes.
Yeah, unlike Gangrel.
Hold on. Okay. The Brood music hit 3 times tonight for this pay-per-view. And each one was slightly different.
How so?
Well, Gangrel came out to regular Brood. Edge and Christian both came out to You Think You Know Me, and then Brood, and then Edge's was slightly different from Christian's, I think. Or maybe they were the same.
I never noticed a difference, but then again, I didn't care to know a difference.
Yeah. It's little things I noticed.
Yeah, the match ended with Jackie.
Was it on Christian's shoulders or Mark Merrill's?
What? Oh, when she got her top ripped off?
Yes.
I think it was Mark's. I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, no, actually, I don't recall, because I thought...
WWF Capital
The
Carnage.
way it ended was Mark Merrill and Christian fought to the back, which left it to Jacqueline and Sable hit her with the TKO, and got the 3.
It was on the shoulders of the ref.
That's right, yeah,
because Jacqueline was beating up the ref.
Right. She no-sold the TKO. Completely just no-selling it, getting right up and just beating on the ref, and then she got on the ref and got her top ripped off.
And that's a GIF. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an unedited GIF on Google.
And, yeah, so
Alrighty.
That was that. So far, nothing really of merit here.
Nope.
We get to the Intercontinental title match. It was Ken Shamrock defending the Intercontinental title against Steve Blackman. Ken Shamrock.
These two are 2 people who I grew up actually liking, especially Steve Blackman for some reason. Don't know why.
Big Boss Man was out there to assist Ken Shamrock. The problem with Steve Blackman was that he was legit, but
technically Shamrock was too.
But you take a look at Blackman. What did he have to offer as far as anything? You got to remember, this is the attitude here, character-driven. You need character, and Steve Blackman lacked a lot of character as a wrestler. I could take that he's a tough guy, but they never were going to push him like Brock Lesnar. That just wasn't. And plus, he never had the size. Not like a Dan Severn, where you could theoretically treat Dan Severn like Brock Lesnar, but you can't really. You have to do more with Steve Blackman to really sell to the people that this guy really is a legit martial arts master, because at the end of the day, you can literally have him win all these fights, and people are just going to think, oh, well, it's all fucking fake anyways.
And Steve Blackman is now a bail's bondsman. I would not skip that bail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's stories of him being a legit tough guy, so I would not mess with him. But
I wouldn't want to get kicked by him. He'll fucking break out the fucking kendo stick and work your ass.
Yeah. In this match, again, it was just not memorable. There was an Ultimate Farting Championship sign that I saw. And it won because of a fuck finish, because Boss Man threw a stick to Ken Shamrock, and Shamrock smashed him in the head with it, or did he smash him in the leg with it? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah. What was it? Boss Man used a collapsible nightstick and nailed the back of Blackman's ankle, and then Shamrock won with a ankle lock from Blackman tapping.
Uh-huh.
Shenanigans.
So yeah, Shamrock retained the Intercontinental title. You had a Rock promo. It was the Rock. He was very good.
This was the corporate Rock, though.
The corporate champion. Yes. The corporate champion, that is. Now, earlier I said Triple H was due to face The Rock for the WWF title. Well, that got switched, and guess who he gets in replacement? Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeff Jarrett.
Mr. Slapnuts.
Double J, double A, double R, double T. Ha, ha, ha.
Slapnuts. This is what we got. You had China and Deborah doing some work on the outside. You had Jerry Lawler referencing, for whatever reason. Oh, I remember. He referenced the song Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Because there was one point where somebody was getting knocked down and repeatedly getting back up, probably doing the whole superstar comeback. And I just remember there was a distraction where Triple H probably delivered the worst pedigree in the world. And part of that was due to the fact that when Jeff Jarrett turned around, he just stood there for a minute, knowing full well that it took Triple H a good long while before he could actually kick him in the gut. So it looked very awkward.
Yes. Because there was... what was it? Deborah was trying to distract Triple H?
Yeah, he was trying to distract Triple H, and China was getting involved. It was, again, the Attitude Era was full of clusterfuck. Especially the show. Match didn't go very long. Like, literally every match that we have just
6 minutes 55.
Yeah, every match that we're going through that we're doing such a terrible job reviewing.
This show is just like I'll be honest, I was kind of bored watching this whole show.
I wasn't necessarily bored because it wasn't long. It was less than 3 hours. And
yes, true.
Maybe because my mindset was put into the frame of this is really relatively not a show for me. It's meant for the UK fans. Maybe that's why I didn't hate it as much. But I was looking forward to a bad show. Because I couldn't take a bad show and be entertained by it, by how stupid it is.
Well, normally the one-off shows are bad.
Yes.
That's the thing. Maybe we just need to watch some Cyber Sunday.
No, what we need to do is watch some WCW 2000.
All right, I'm gonna go into my handy dandy WWE app, which you can get for free in the WWF store.
Yes, so
$9.99.
Yes, $10. But this so far every match has lasted less than 10 minutes. It is Steve Austin promo. Steve Austin's a man. What can you really say? New Age Outlaws defend the tag team titles against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. D'Lo Brown, I will say, to the day I die, that D'Lo Brown is a human bobblehead. Somewhere in this pay-per-view, they had D'Lo walking around the UK. I don't remember where it was, but I know there was at some point they were showing D'Lo Brown touring all over the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Talking to random people. There was one scene where he was pissed off that somebody was like gonna put him in a car and he was expecting a high-end limo. Trying to sell D'Lo as like a comedy character. This would not fly with Jim Cornette.
Oh God. This this card.
There's
I think I found something for us.
Oh God. I don't know if this will be next week's episode, but we'll definitely have to consider it.
Oh God, no. Oh God. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh.
Uh-oh, what do we got?
This is WCW Spring Stampede 2000.
Oh man, this already sounds great.
Do you want me to give you like a couple of people, a couple of the matches on our card?
Why don't we wait until we're done with the show and then we'll go through.
All right. I'll keep that bookmarked.
Yes, I've got the pay-per-view on my tablet anyway, so. New Age Outlaws, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry for the tag titles. It was a standard tag match. It wasn't bad. This was actually, up to this point, the best match of the show.
Yeah, I this match I actually enjoyed. But then again, I like the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah, they were good at this time. They were the original Enzo and Cass, except they didn't break them off when they were at their most popular and just decided somebody had to get heat. But the finish was weird. What was it? Road Dogg hit a pile driver on D'Lo?
No. Billy Gunn hit a pile driver.
Billy Gunn hit the fucking pile driver on D'Lo. And
it was what you call giving D'Lo the impression that that's what he needed to do to Owen. No, it wasn't Owen. Who was it? No. Who got pile drived and paralyzed? Was it? No.
This was before the Draws D'Lo thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. Draws D'Lo.
Yeah, but this happened before Draws D'Lo.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying. This was putting the seed in D'Lo Brown's head of that's what he needs to do.
Ah, I see. But D'Lo didn't paralyze him with a pile driver. He paralyzed
Who was it?
D'Lo paralyzed him with a power bomb.
I thought it was the pile driver.
The only one that got hit with a pile driver that was quote-unquote paralyzed and was only temporarily was Owen Hart to Steve Austin.
Right, that's probably the one I'm thinking of.
D'Lo Brown, I think, was doing a power bomb, and that's what caused Draws to be paralyzed later on in the year. But not only did they win with a pile driver, D'Lo and Mark Henry just walked out like nothing. Like after they lost, it was like, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I think Road Dogg was he was either selling an injury or he was actually hurting. I couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell either. It was what it was. But we get to the next match, and I was so in hysterics when I first heard this. X-Pac is the replacement for Triple H in this WWF title match. I laughed hysterically because The Rock and 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah, I thought.
But
I mean, X-Pac's good in the ring. There's no better way to put it. Pac is good in the ring. Steve Waltman can wrestle.
Sean
Waltman, sorry. Sean Waltman can wrestle. He is a phenomenal worker inside the ring. So I had a feeling this match was going to be good because both Waltman and Rock can go. And both know how to sell to the point that Rock's not going to oversell to make a Waltman look like, oh my God, he's gonna do it because I mean Rock was the biggest thing in the fucking company at this time. Besides Stone Cold.
Well,
so
they had, in my opinion, the best match of the night because the crowd was super into this, and there was belief, at least amongst the crowd, that X-Pac on a couple of occasions was going to win the title. They really thought X-Pac would win, and that's what you want to do. You want to work the audience.
You're wrong.
I mean, I knew he wasn't going to win. I could have told you at the age of, how old was I here? 9, that he wasn't going to win. But the audience popped every time when he was making pin, and when it was a 2 count, they literally jumped out of their seats. But
Rock won by
he won by DQ because what happened was, I actually remember the finish, strangely enough. He goes to the outside and he confronts China. And he shoves China, which then Triple H, because earlier in the match, The Rock tried to leave and said, I don't need to deal with this. While he's leaving, Triple H and China come out and make him go back in the ring. And then they have the match. So Triple H and China are watching on the outside, making sure that he doesn't leave. So, at the tail end, The Rock just pushes China, and that's when Triple H loses his shit, obviously, because that's his woman, starts pounding on The Rock, which causes the DQ.
yes.
So The Rock wins via DQ.
At what point did... What was it? What point was... I don't know. I guess... I'm sure Triple H and China were still dating at this point.
Yes, they were.
I'm trying to remember what point they split.
2000, 2001, because around that point, that's when Triple H started getting with Stephanie, and China no longer had the political power that she did when she was with Triple H. So, yeah, that was this match. It was very good. Probably best match of the night. Then we get to the main event. But before we can even get to the main event, we had to have a long clusterfuck of an intro. First off, Shane McMahon announces that Pat Patterson will be the special timekeeper for this main event. Gerald Briscoe is going to be the special ref. Vince McMahon is going to be the special commentator. And Big Boss Man is going to be the corporate enforcer. Oh, and to make matters even dumber, Vinnie Jones, who you saw earlier in the night, comes out. He gets into a confrontation and pushes Big Boss Man out of the ring. To which Gerald Briscoe then gives him the red card. Which, in sports, that usually means you're out of the game. Which ultimately kicks him out.
And ejects him.
And ejects him, yes. And I don't think we see him.
No, he doesn't come back whatsoever.
He does come back after the match. After the match has all been done. I do know that. But it's Mankind, Kane, Undertaker, Steve Austin. Fatal 4-Way. But the problem is that Mankind comes out first, and then Kane comes out, and then they start beating up on each other. And Undertaker then comes out, then they start beating up on each other again, then Steve Austin comes out, now it's officially the match. I don't really remember much because this match was such a clusterfuck. It was sloppy. It didn't seem like it flowed right. Everybody was going all over the place. The only part I remember out of this match was at one point, Paul Bearer took off one of his shoes, and I just remember Jim Ross screaming up the top of his lungs, "Paul Bearer's gonna see you!" in the most fucked up way possible.
For God's sakes, man, who throws a shoe?
A shoe! A shoe he threw, apparently. Now, this match was not of the quality of multi-man matches that I'm used to.
Oh, no, definitely not.
And it's crazy because of the men that are involved in this match. It's 4 of the best that WWE's ever had.
But it was a house show, so...
Yeah, and how do we end it? Steve Austin stunnering Kane.
Yep.
Kane, this big monster you built up for a long fucking time, is now losing left and right. See, my thought process would have been is that Kane plows through everybody and can beat everybody. But there's only one guy he just can never beat, and that's his older brother, The Undertaker. Because The Undertaker just knows him that much better than every one of Kane's opponents. And it's a shame, because he kept losing to Steve Austin. I understand Steve Austin's the top guy of the company, but that's why I wouldn't have had Kane go after the title in the first place, but...
Yeah. I mean, Kane was in the company for how long at this point?
A
What,
year.
maybe a year?
A year.
He was still fairly green going into this match.
I wouldn't say green because he worked as Isaac Yankem and Fake Diesel.
True. I don't know. He was still trying to find himself in this gimmick, I think. I mean,
Maybe.
he didn't have to talk, so that helped.
Well, he did talk about it at this point. He had that stupid-ass voice changer. Or that stupid-ass voice box that people use when they lose their voice box from all the cigarettes they smoke.
Oh.
Was...
it was nice to see good old Stone Cold get a beer bath going with
Vinny Jones!
Was it? Yeah, Vinny Jones just come out for that part.
Yes.
He came out for the beer bath, and oh fuck, what the fuck was the ref's name?
Earl Hebner?
Earl Hebner. Where the fuck is he?
He's no longer with WWE because he was selling counterfeit shirts.
Was he?
Yeah, that was like back in 05. Him and his brother got fired because in their own personal store they were selling counterfeit WWE shirts.
Earl Hebner.
Yeah. That was Capital Carnage, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't even like you could make fun of it. It was what it was.
Yes.
But I hope to review Spring Stampede one day.
Maybe we have to get Kristen in on this one.
Oh yeah, she definitely gotta watch some WCW
but
2000.
Maybe when she comes back, she will finally be awoken and ready for our wonderful brilliance. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking through now. I want to see Greed. The card for Greed. WCW Greed. Was that 2000 or 2001?
WCW Greed?
Yeah, it might have been the only one. Oh, it was 2001. It was the very last WCW pay-per-view.
Greed?
Yeah, it was March 18th, 2001.
Let me see. 2001. Yep, Greed, 2001. Check that out. I thought Super Brawl was the last one, but guess not.
It says on Wikipedia, the pay-per-view WCW Greed, the pay-per-view event took place 3 days before the final episode of Thunder and 8 days before the final episode of Monday Nitro.
Yeah, I'm on the network's app. The most recent WCW show was WCW Greed 2001.
Yeah, so that was the last pay-per-view of this
We'll have to do that one at some point.
Oh my god.
But do we want to talk about anything else in the news world of wrestling right now?
Just briefly talk about Paige's retirement.
Is she going to officially retire?
I don't think she has a choice. Because her neck injury was so severe that WWE don't want to risk somebody getting spinal stenosis on their watch, because Sheamus already has it apparently, and he may have to retire soon.
Oh damn! I didn't even notice. I didn't even know that about him.
Yeah, Shane apparently is dealing with some neck issues. So, it's sad because while Paige has 13 years of pro wrestling on her belt, she's only 25.
Yep.
And that's usually a very, very, very young age to retire from wrestling, especially when it's in your blood like that. But if she has to retire, unless she's going to try and leave and go to an independent promotion or go to TNA or whatever.
I don't even think she would do that. If WWE doctors are telling her that if she takes a bump the wrong way again, she can be paralyzed or die, I think even she's smart enough to know, okay, it's time to hang up the boots.
But that's just the thing. I mean, it's like
But then again, with her, I feel like she's a good enough mic worker and stuff like that maybe she can transition to a managerial or valet role or something, that she can speak and everything and do something with the company. Or at the very least, put her in a fucking PC and let her train people, because like you just said, she has 15 years of experience. Is only 25 years old. Who can relate better with some of these younger girls and stuff than her, who is pretty much their age, but knows how to do everything and has been in the business longer than most of the people. Some of the people who are training other people.
Who knows? I mean, again, it's all dependent on her and what the future holds for her. But there's not really much to say. I mean, because she hasn't cut a retirement speech or anything like that. They haven't really alluded to the fact that she's retiring on TV or anything. Just maybe a vague Instagram post that would give the idea she's retiring. But who knows? Only time will tell. The only other newsworthy story is the Roman Reigns steroid dealer thing. Some guy who's
The guy that Reigns was going to his gym, who got raided by the FBI or DEA or something,
DEA.
he had there was a steroid sting and stuff like that he got put with, and now he's starting to name people.
Yeah, he's starting to name people such as Mark Wahlberg and Roman Reigns was another name that apparently Roman Reigns was buying from.
There's two big actors that are on it that are just like, well, it really doesn't matter for them because they're actors. They don't have to piss. They don't have to have clean piss for anything.
Well, nothing's set in stone because right now Roman Reigns is innocent until proven guilty. But
correct.
If news comes out that because they made a statement that apparently Roman Reigns never even heard of the guy. All it takes is proof that these two actually knew each other, and it's going to cause problems. But it'll cause even bigger problems if Roman Reigns was caught and is guilty of taking steroids from this guy. Because the reason I say that is because he's been passing his drug tests for the last year and a half since the Adderall suspension that he had to go through a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is that if he's going through a year and a half passing all these tests, but he's actually taking steroids, that only leads to the conclusion that either A, WWE's tests are very flawed, B, that Roman Reigns is doing the steroids with WWE's knowledge and they just don't care, or C, WWE's encouraging him to do this. Which, no matter what, is bad on them. The only question that would remain after that, though, is that would Roman Reigns still be the guy? The thing that prevents him from getting punished to a severe degree is that Randy Orton's their golden child, and how many times has he not only failed drug tests, but has been a constant problem backstage with people, and they've done everything in their power to protect him, make sure he can never get fired. They seem to make a pass for those they deem as stars. If you're not a star, then you're fucked.
Right.
And they deem Roman Reigns as a star or their new star that's going to replace John Cena. So, who knows? It'll look really bad on them if he is caught doing all these drugs. And
that would almost kill him completely inside the WWE.
I wouldn't say that. It would kill him inside the fans for sure, but maybe the WWE will still once again try and treat it as it's no big deal. We're just going to continue the course as usual. Maybe they can't get away with it now, because at the time that Randy Orton got away with it, there wasn't as much paparazzi on their ass in this scenario. I shouldn't say that. They had a better ability of getting away with certain things like that. Now, maybe not, but who knows? This is another one of those wait-and-see type of deals. It's like, okay, this guy named Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns denies ever even knowing this guy. Now the burden of proof goes on to the person accusing Roman Reigns of buying steroids from him. So, if he can provide proof, then Roman Reigns is going to have a really rough time.
My thing is, though, for this guy, for this guy to name Reigns, what's the point? What's the point of naming Reigns if you're already in jail and everything? If you didn't know him whatsoever, you know what I mean?
Because he could get a lighter sentence.
I guess my thing is, okay, if you do not know Reigns and Reigns doesn't know you, why name him, you know? And then Reigns blatantly says, "Oh, I don't know this guy."
Again, maybe he just thinks in his head, if he's creating a lie, that if he could just come up with any name in the fucking book, and they believe him. But who knows? Who knows?
Did you watch the mixed tag?
I did not. That's something I would rather save until the very end. And go over.
Gotcha.
So
it was pretty good.
I'll
say that.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've pretty much touched up on everything. Capital Carnage and a couple of news stories, and a lot of rambling, like always. But
yes.
It wouldn't be the same if we weren't rambling, so.
I feel like we're much more tame than what Kristen's probably thinking.
That's the thing, because Kristen's kind of like that person that you and I could just use as sort of a cushion to just throw our troll comments at.
Well, because she reacts so well.
Exactly. That's the best part about it.
That's why we need her, because without her, Daddy Trump is sad.
Daddy Trump is sad. The woken brilliance is sad. When it's like you and I agree on it, it's like, what can we really say?
Except the fact that we're amazing, and this should be a show right here by itself, just me and you.
Right, but again, just with the addition of Kristen, it just makes it that much better.
Of course, it makes the squared circle breakdown just that much better.
Indeed. Well, hopefully she'll return for the next week's edition, or whenever the next show comes up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been bored long enough. This has been episode 12 of Squared Circle Breakdown with yours truly, Monoxide, and Senior Guapo.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And if you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Guapo_504.
Me, it's twitter.com/Monoxide YouTube, which I rarely use, but maybe I should get back into. So.
Yeah, I need to start tweeting too, but it happens. I forget that it's there.
Shit happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care.
Adios, amigos.
Spike your hair.